NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast with one familiar face and a couple of new ones with a bunch of cool stuff going on. So let's just dive into it. Who the fuck are you guys, and what do you do?
Hi, Dean. My name is Swati Varshney. I am a skydiver, and I'm one of the 3 candidates chosen to do this Hera Rising mission, which is a skydive from the edge of space. So, yep, just another stratosphere jump. So a little bit about me. You know, my moniker is that I am a skydiver and a scientist. I started skydiving long time ago. I think I started training for my AFF in 2010. How I got into skydiving is that I did a tandem skydive back in 2008, just a bucket list thing for the thrill of it. As soon as I did that, I completely fell in love with the sensation of flying, of being in free fall. And I knew at that moment that I had to do it again. Time was a little limited for me. So, you know, I put skydiving on the back burner a little bit, came back 2 years later, did a tandem, and knew that right then and there I had to sign up to do my AFF. So I started working on my license, trained all summer for it, got my license. My skydiving journey has been this kind of path that I've walked alongside the journey I made with my academic career. So I was in grad school the entire time. I was training for my AFF, as well as my first 6 years in skydiving. So I was learning about skydiving and learning about science and engineering at the same time, and making progress in both areas, as well as working with my university clubs and working on skydiving with my peers. So, after I finished my license, I kept jumping, of course, while I was in school. After I finished school, 6 years later, I really was able to dedicate a lot more time and energy to training and skydiving. And here I am.
I mean, it sounds like you just had nothing but spare time to me. So
if only.
Yeah, right. So specifically, what in science did you study?
Yep. So I am a materials engineer. So I got my PhD in materials engineering. And what I studied there was designing flexible body armor based on fish scale biomechanics. So it was this really neat project that blended biology, bio-inspired technology, 3D printing, mechanical engineering, testing, modeling, and simulation, all into one to create fish scale armor.
Jeez. I mean, I've had a lot of guests on the show that make me feel slightly inferior, but holy shit. That's really cool.
That was a cool one.
That's really, really, yeah. No. Hats off. That's incredible. And I'm going to move on because you just depressed me. All right. Who's next?
I am the next one, and my name is Diana Valerin. I am the other of the candidates of the project of Hera Rising. I born in Costa Rica, and I study as software engineer. I started to skydive like 10 years ago in Costa Rica with the static line, and I really, really get in love with the sport. And I could not wait like the long process of the static line. In Costa Rica, we don't jump that often, so it was so slow, the process. So I went to Skydive City to get my AFF, and I get like hooked of the community and the sport, and I was like completely in love of the skydive. And then I start also to scuba dive, and at the same time with my software engineer career. So that helps me a lot to get in this project.
So the skydiving came before scuba diving?
It was at the same year. It was, I don't know why, I was looking to do a lot of different sports.
Sure.
And I start with a scuba dive, and then I get into a skydive at the same time.
I think there's a fair amount of parallels between the two sports, really. I mean, it's obviously gear intensive. It's the orientations can be very similar, although, and I suppose it's up to each person to decide, but I think scuba diving is more dangerous.
Yeah, I think it's in both the sport you have to be like very like follow the rules, like if you follow the basic thing, you will be safe. And I don't know, I love both. It's very different to choose one because it's kind of similar, but the sensation is completely different. One, it's like very relaxed and chill and just like a meditation because you just can hear your own breath and see like another world, like different colors, animals, everything. And the other one is like completely adrenaline and like very, very all like fast, but at the same time, both are super peaceful and just you have to enjoy the moment. So
sure.
I think both things, I love it.
I absolutely agree. And next on the list.
Hello, everyone. And Dean, thanks for having me back.
Absolutely.
And it's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Been a while.
Yeah. So please reintroduce yourself to everybody listening.
Yes, my name is Eliana Rodriguez, and I am a professional skydiver. I've been jumping now for 28 years. I can't believe it's been that long. And I started jumping on October 1st, 1995. That's when I made that first jump
Nice.
that just changed everything for me. I always still I'm in awe of that one single decision to follow this curiosity can completely change your life and change your world. For me, for the good, for the good. I was so grateful to be part of the skydiving community, and I think that's what keeps us all in. It's not just the jumping, but the community, right? But I've been for years and years and years, I've been competing in 4-way formation skydiving, 8-way formation skydiving, and now the last few years I've also been in doing 16-way formation skydiving. And it's been a blast. I'm actually 49 now, getting ready to turn 50 next year, and I can't believe I'm still doing it. I just signed up to do 3 teams for next year, 3 player coach teams, and it's still going strong. But
I think you're right. It's the community is such a huge draw, but I mean, you obviously have a great passion for the actual jumping as well. Because I'm deep in the community, but I don't jump nearly as much as most people anymore, and you're still going hardcore.
Yes. What's cool with skydiving is you can do so many different things, right? Just the different disciplines, the 4-way, the 8-way, the 16-way, those are all a little bit different. Next month, we're going to go to Abu Dhabi for the big tunnel to train our 16-way, which is incredible that we can even do that nowadays. And so, yeah, so, and then also sometimes we work with the military as well. I just finished doing a 2-week contract. So it's all really different, different stuff, different skydiving. And
Sure.
Sometimes we do big wave formation skydiving, like the All-American Invitational, where you're jumping out of multiple different airplanes, and it's almost like a reunion every time you get everybody back together. So it's a lot of fun in that way, and the people are just amazing. Just right here, getting to meet Swati and Diana. They come from different backgrounds and stuff, but yeah, that's actually kind of cool, to be one of the explorers with Swati and Diana. It's been really fun meeting them, and I look forward to doing training with them and getting into this project.
Sure. Now, just out of curiosity, what was your plan before skydiving stepped into your life?
So I was in the military, and I was about to get out of the military and go back to college and become an engineer, actually. So I actually got out and I got an associate's degree, and I was about to transfer to the University of Central Florida when Airspeed called, Arizona Airspeed, the current world champions at the time, and they still are now. It's been a 30-year team, and They called, and I thought, when am I ever going to get a chance to do this? So I said yes, and I moved out to Arizona thinking I'd go out for a year or two, and it turned into 9 years of really hardcore fun, amazing 4-way with a great group of guys.
That's pretty spectacular. It's fun always hearing the different ways that skydiving either has enhanced somebody's life or completely derailed it and taken it a totally different direction. It's kind of the only way to look at it.
Yes.
Now,
I really love skydiving because I really love
skydiving.
No,
please.
It's not just the skydiving. It's you develop so many other skills, and that you would have never imagined. And it's definitely helped me grow personally in many different ways. So.
Oh, incredibly so. In everyday life, it kind of helps to turn the volume down on things that drive everybody else crazy. Because when you just jumped out of an airplane, 6 or 7 times in a day, the guy that cut you off in traffic doesn't seem to piss you off quite so much.
True.
Yeah. Now, Swati, I was going to ask, so you're designing the fish-based biomechanical body armor type stuff. What does your family think when you're doing this and you go, hey, I'm going to start jumping out of airplanes? That's kind of...
Yeah, so to be honest, I actually didn't tell my family that I was skydiving until after I already had my license. So... but no, I think overall my family has been really supportive of my chosen path in skydiving. I think they see it for what it is, which is a hobby that complements or enhances my life and is just an extension of what I like to do alongside my career. I think, it is funny to think that, in a different life, if I had chosen a different path, like I too could have been Eliana Rodriguez, and that's amazing. But I didn't have that path. Airspeed didn't call me to offer me a spot on their team. So, I continued studying, and I, went down my career path, became an engineer, got a real job, and kept working. And skydiving was just something extra in my life that really added value. I think Eliana touched upon this a lot, which is the community in skydiving, the ability to meet people, to make friends, develop these really long lasting friendships that span across the country, across the globe. And being able to find value to add to my life with this additional path that was alongside my career.
Now, one of the things that I've seen many times talking to people is the crossover between the careers that people have chosen in skydiving and them bringing parts of their careers into the sport to add benefit to it. I mean, have you ever come across situations as an engineer and in designing the things that you do that you're like, I wonder if I could take it this way or that way with skydiving equipment, with safety equipment, stuff like that? I mean, it sounds to me like that would be right up your alley.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what skydiving does for me is that it puts me in the mindset of the user of technology. As a skydiver, I'm someone that's using really, really nifty equipment. I have a container, I have a parachute. I have to understand how those work in order to skydive, to save my life, to understand the performance and to improve. And that mindset when it comes to doing R&D and technology development and creation is really valuable to understand, okay, what am I building and who am I building it for? And what are they going to get out of it? So, for example, say someone's designing an airplane and you have to look at the cockpit design. So who's going to sit in that cockpit? Where are the buttons in that cockpit? If you push the buttons, do they actually work? Or do I have to sit there and push like 20 different buttons just to do this one really basic thing? So kind of being able to translate from a designer in a lab to a user on the other side is super valuable for me.
Oh, and it'd have to be incredibly so. I mean, as a longtime pilot, I can say that I've flown aircraft that were just horribly designed and clearly did not have a pilot in mind. And then the one of the oldest aircraft I fly, and the one that I have the most time in, is the Twin Otter, that I think was built at first in 1964 was the original design, and it's flawless. Ergonomically, it is just the best damn plane I've ever flown. But the newer ones are shit. So it's amazing to see when you can absolutely tell that an engineer invested in making sure that people using what they're doing have actually paid attention to it, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll offer a little tidbit of a learning lesson for me in skydiving was that. So I mean, we're sitting behind a screen, so you can't really see me, but I'm 5'2" and 100 pounds. So I'm a small person. And a big struggle for me in skydiving was finding gear that actually fit me properly. And so even custom ordered gear, I really struggled with. I had to send a custom container back like 3 or 4 times to the manufacturer just to have something that fit. And so I really take that user experience thing to heart, right? Because it does, and it has affected me. And I want to make sure that systems I'm engineering are designed for their users in mind, so that problems like that don't continue to happen.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and especially with something like skydiving, where just the basics of having a container that fits correctly can be the difference between being comfortable and alive and happy or dead. So it's a big deal. Now, software engineering, we've got an engine with software engineering. I mean, that's basically the same thing in just a different format, right? It's you're making sure that stuff works the way that it's supposed to, so that people like me who have no clue how it works can manage to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's made me like, well, with the skydive, I think that most valuable thing that they give me was like that confidence. Because maybe it was not my like better skill, but with the skydive, I work a lot on it and make me more confident, and also improve a lot the ability to concentrate and how to react with moments like with stress or with like manage a lot of different situations. And well, with the community also, it's make me like be more social and communicate and try to like express myself and try to understand like what the people needs and what I need and how the thing works. And that like you have to like traduce it in software and in solutions. I think
Sure.
that software engineer is like try to solve problems, and you need to understand the things before
Sure.
make a solution.
Now, the same question for you that I asked Swati. What did your family think when you started jumping out of airplanes?
At the beginning, they were like a little bit nervous, of course. And in Costa Rica, the sport is not very development,
Mm,
so they have like a lot of questions. But then they start to get like, I try to get like them involved like in the sport, and they always like support me. And a lot of times they travel with me and went to the drop zone, and they know like the community and how everything works. So after that, they was like super happy with the sport and very like supported. And even my dad tried to skydive, but then he cannot because he have arthritis,
mm.
and they have like a very not very flexible, and we have problems with that. So they quit, but they always like support it, and they are very happy with the change that the sport make in my life and a lot of skills that they give me.
Awesome. Awesome. And one of the best, well, if you skydive for long enough, you're going to end up with arthritis. So your dad kind of cut out the middle, man, because trust me, I'm not very flexible anymore either. So now,
Yeah.
Eliana, tell me a bit about how this project came about. Because I saw an initial post. It probably was a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, that you put out a post and instantly messaged you like, "Shit, we got to talk. I got to find out what's going on." So how did this all start?
Yeah, so I actually came into it. The first time I heard about it was November of 2021. And actually, Diana probably has the story from earlier on, because Diana's been with the project. I'm not sure how long, but she kind of came in much earlier than I did. So she might be able to share a little bit more of that beginning part. But I got a call from Amy Shimalecki and Sarah Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
because Rising United, which is the nonprofit organization that's has created this project. And they called them because they were doing Project 19, and so they were looking for they had Diana already, but they wanted to they wanted at least a primary explorer and a backup, right? They wanted two. And so they were looking for other women. So they asked Amy and Sarah if they had women that they can recommend for this project. And so so when they got the call and they were told about the project, and they said we want to break this high altitude jump record, but this time with a woman.
Mm.
And so they're like, oh, I think I know the woman for you. So so then I got the call, and the first time I got the call, I was like, my heart dropped. I was like, ooh, that's a big one. And it definitely felt nervous, even like just sitting there, like listening to the message, or to them telling me about it. But also I was very curious, and I was like, okay, tell me more. I want to hear more about this. And so they went on to tell me more, and then connect me with two women from Rising United, Pam and Anna. But I think Diana, can you share a little bit how that early stage when you were part of it before we even got into it?
Oh, well, I think this was not a lot of much story before, it was not easy like to find girls that like have that combination that they are looking for, because they wanted like a woman with STEM background and skydive. So I started to do it like a very, very strong search. And one like of the started points was Project 19, and we find Eliana and Swati
Mm.
there. So
You know, one of the coolest things about it, and one of my favorite things about the sport, I think Ileana and I started jumping maybe a year after you. So we've both been in it for a while now. I've been getting my ass handed to me in skydiving by women my entire career. Um, Literally, it's just all the way down the line from the very beginning. And so I think even probably the last 5 episodes out of the last 6 or 7 have all been very bold and prominent women in skydiving. And so I never really thought twice one way or the other, but as soon as you say they'd be looking for a woman to do something like this, I can think off the top of my head of at least a dozen that would be just badasses and might not be the right fit, but they'd absolutely be into it. And I think that's absolutely fantastic that it's finally getting to the point where it's being highlighted in a way that I kind of always took for granted, because you guys have just been kicking my ass forever.
Yeah, there was definitely more women involved, and then they narrowed it down to the 3 of us. So
Sure.
one of the cool stories about that was that we actually went for a test in Houston to try on a spacesuit, which is like incredible, right? Like who
What,
gets
like to NASA?
we went to so Paragon, they have acquired a spacesuit company, and so they had just actually moved there, and so we went to their building. And Paragon, a space development corporation, is the company that work with Alan Eustace to create the life support system.
Yeah.
And they're working with this Hera Rising project to do the same, which is really good because they've already been through it, right? They've already learned a lot in the process. But this time they have their own spacesuit company, and so we went there to try it on, and just to try it on like pressurized and everything. So that's when I met Swati. I don't think I'd met you before. And then Diana I actually had jumped with Diana in Costa Rica for one of the boogies. But and they were like looking just for 2. So after this test, one of us was going to be out, but we were all so supportive of each other, like you know, seems like a normal thing, right? You know, we all got along really well, and they really loved seeing that. And they were like, you know what, we really like that really touched us, how supportive they were. And we want this story to be more about women lifting each other up instead of like competing for like one spot. So they actually decided, and they changed their minds, and they decided to take 3 of us. And so we don't know yet who's going to go, because there still has to be a lot more testing,
Sure.
you know, once they get more of the funding. But right now it's the 3 of us as explorers, and then one of us is going to get to be the one to go, but we're going to be supporting each other all the way.
So when you're in a pressurized spacesuit, there's got to be a moment that you're like, holy shit, I just jumped out of an airplane once. How in the hell am I in a spacesuit?
Yes, definitely. That was definitely the thought. I was like, I can't believe I'm here trying on a spacesuit or even talking about it. It's crazy. Yeah, but I actually was like happily surprised, because I heard that sometimes people have issues with claustrophobia, and I thought this pressurized meant like you were going to get really squeezed into a suit, but it felt the opposite. Once they started pressurizing it, the suit actually came away from you, and it's like really roomy in there. So we, you know, that was one of the tests to see how we felt in the suit, and if we even wanted to do it after trying the suit on and getting it pressurized.
You know, it's funny because I wouldn't want to do the jump, but the idea of jumping from where you guys want to jump from scares the piss out of me. But I'm a huge space nut, like the Apollo program and all that stuff. And so I just want to put the suit on. I just want to go walk around in the suit.
I'm with you, Dean. Like I absolutely think skydiving from the stratosphere is scary. I mean, how could you not? A big part of my job is risk assessment. So when I first heard about this project, all I could think about was okay, well, that could go wrong, and that could go wrong, and that could go wrong, and that's scary. And how are they going to do that, and that, and that, and that, and that? But Eliana talked about this trip we took down to Paragon, and I think, me personally, and I think I speak for all three of us, we were really struck by the technical rigor of the folks at Paragon, and their attention to detail and the engineering, and really thinking about all of the technology that they're developing, and circling back to it, the user that's on the other side. So in that case, that's us, the user of the spacesuit, and just really seeing the thoughtfulness and the expertise that they put into their suits and into the way that this whole project was going to be put together built a lot of confidence in me, saying, you know what, maybe this isn't so scary after all. Like, science can solve a lot of problems, and I think this is one.
Indeed, it can. Now, ultimately, I would ballpark my guess at the goal behind the entire project was, I believe, with Colonel Kittinger back in 1969 when he did the first jump. That idea was specifically as a bailout system in case something went wrong, launching astronauts into space, right? So is this an attempt to further that, or what's the goal and what's the reason behind the project? Anybody?
Well, I think that the project have like a lot of goals, but one of the main of the goals is inspire another woman to get involved in STEM, and of course to like dream big, and that we can be able to do like whatever we want, always with supported with hard work, and working, like team working. And I think that one of the things that I really like about skydive sport and helped me a lot with this project is that at the beginning, like even when I start the sport, you can see like a lot of women involved, and you can see like with the skydive you don't have like that difference, like woman or men, like we just work all together, and you can always have support about like it doesn't care your gender. You can compete women and men's together, and it was like very nice. So we want to like get that message to the world, like for that, just try to like work together and get like in big projects and follow your dreams and make it true.
Nice. Now, on the engineering side of things, do you know, or how much can you talk about how the ascent is to be made? I know with Felix, it was in a capsule. Then the Google guy went and just hooked himself to a balloon. Is there already a plan in the works, or is that something you guys can talk about?
They already have an idea. I'm sorry, Diana. They already have an idea that they want to do it like Alan Eustace's jump, where if you're in the suit and you're getting pulled up by the balloon, and then you get released in your body position already, as opposed to jumping out of a capsule. And also they're going to use a drogue. So the drogue that Alan used was really, yeah. So I'm really happy about that.
Yep.
Actually. And the drogue's got a really interesting system because it's got what they call a saber, where you get released from the balloon, and as the drogue is coming out, the drogue actually gets stiff, because when you're up there in those first few seconds, there's like really no air, and it's very easy to start tumbling. And so the drogue won't wrap around because it starts to get like into a pole.
Wasn't that one of the big things with Kittinger's first one? As he did his jump, he stepped off the basket through the drogue, and it just fell next to him.
So he was actually in the gondola, and he had a timer for the drogue to start. I think it was about 12 seconds later or something like that. And while he was moving around, because it's all tight in there with his pressurized suit, he started the timer too early. But he got out, and it came out a little bit too quickly before he had any speed. And so it wrapped around his neck. And fortunately, he was, because he had a pressurized suit, it didn't choke him, but it put him into a very violent spin, which I think he passed out and woke up under his reserve. Yeah, so
I mean, well, and
Yeah.
then with Felix did his jump, and of course had an issue with the spin for a portion of the jump. And one of the things that impressed me the most about Alan's jump was there was no publicity about it before it happened. Nobody knew. It was just all of a sudden, yeah, that record that Felix set, yeah, that's not a record anymore. And then the documentary came out about it, and I believe that was Paragon Suits, yes?
Yeah, that one of the things that give us a lot of confidence is that it's the same company, Paragon. It was the one that designed and get all the Alan project. So that
It
was
was
like a
it was
very
it was amazing.
So another cool thing that's happening now is that Paragon and NASA have gotten a lot of funding to develop the next spacesuit for astronauts, because one of the issues they've had is that the suits right now that they have are old technology from like the 60s. They've just done some modifications, but they had some women that were going to walk on the moon, and they weren't able to, not because they weren't qualified, but because the suit didn't fit them.
Yep.
So now with Paragon is working on the suit. So I feel like, by them working on the suit for the astronauts and for us, it's gonna help kind of push that, the technology and the engineering and all that, to have better spacesuits for women.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had seen something along the lines of that NASA was down to an incredibly small number of usable suits, that they just don't have them anymore. They're not making the stuff that they need to repair them, and that they had to develop these new suits. But what a cool way and cool motivation to do that. And Swati, as an engineer, you must just be eating this up.
This is amazing. I mean, yes, absolutely. From an engineering perspective, everything about this mission is just incredible. I've enjoyed learning so much about spacesuits, as well as the engineering challenges that are associated with not just a spacesuit for space, but a spacesuit for skydiving, for being in the stratosphere and traveling all the way through these different layers of the atmosphere back to Earth, and the different challenges that are involved with pressurization, oxygen, heating, cooling, mobility, all that sort of stuff. So yes, absolutely. And I think like one of my dreams with this project is that I'm so excited to fly a spacesuit in the wind tunnel. Like I can't wait for that day.
It's got to be just, I mean, the prospect of all the different cool things on the way has just got to be so exciting.
Absolutely.
Now, what's the time frame? I mean, I know this is still in the early stages and stuff, but are there ballpark numbers for when the project is going to be getting to full steam?
Yes, the plan is about a 2-year training cycle from the time that the project kicks off. So I think that the target, therefore, 2 years from now would be the end of 2025. And then there's a whole lot of different steps that are involved in the training process. So a lot of these things will be done in parallel. So one, for example, is the spacesuit design and development. One thing we learned at the trip we took to try on the spacesuits is that the spacesuit needs to be redesigned for any one of us. So there's some amount of R&D that needs to go into that to create a suit to fit us. And to accomplish this mission. But otherwise, there's a lot of training that we have to go through. So doing high altitude skydives and at progressively higher and higher altitudes. There is learning to manipulate these large parachutes. So I'm not a tandem instructor, so I've never flown a parachute that's 300, 400 square feet. So that will be something that I have to learn to do. Flying the spacesuit in the wind tunnel, figuring out the different flight mechanics. I think one thing that that they discovered during the R&D leading up to the Alan Eustace jump was that flying in the spacesuit was actually very opposite to the way you skydive normally. So they realized that, your inputs of, put your right hand down to turn right was actually opposite in the spacesuit, just based on the way that the different pieces of the suit and the attachments and where your center of gravity is and all these different doodads and things are hanging off of you. So we might even just need to relearn how to fly.
Sure. Well, I mean, the aerodynamics are obviously going to be different. To what degree would remain to be seen.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you all a question. So this goes 2 years from now, you guys make the successful jump, or whoever makes it. At the same time, we've seen an incredible ramp up in the space program. They're talking about landing on the moon, getting all this stuff going on the moon in an attempt to eventually go to Mars. Artemis is about to take the longest trip out with astronauts coming up. So they build spacesuits that fit you. What if they ask you to put it to a slightly more use than just jumping off a balloon? What if you got a chance to go up? Right? Hey,
sign me up.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
We will have a little bit of the training, so maybe they can save money of that, and
I mean, that just logically
near.
That just logically jumps into my mind. You're going to have people that are trained specifically more than most other human beings on the planet in the uses of and comfort in a spacesuit, and software engineers and designers. And I mean, come on, who knows?
Yeah, that's what's cool about skydiving, right? Like you go and make a jump, you just don't know what it's going to bring. Once like you're going down that road, what doors open, what opportunities come up. It's just like, yeah, this, and I've said this a couple of times, that this feels like, when I made my first jump, that I had no idea of the world of possibilities that were out there. And
right.
Just by like taking that step, and now like taking this step to be part of this project, we just don't know what the future holds.
You never do, especially because of this sport. I mean, last week I was standing in Kenya being licked by a giraffe. I didn't see that coming. I mean, so you never know what's coming next. So how involved now as it's starting? Is it just going to be progressive for you guys, or are you already into it? How fast is this coming at you now?
So right now it's still in the fundraising phase, right? Because it's this thing, it's going to take a lot of funding. Just
Sure.
Building a spacesuit on its own, it's a very expensive thing. So right now they're looking for funding. So if anybody's interested, they can go to risingunited.org, and there's more information on there. But we're in the fundraising phase of this project, because it's not just a fundraising phase to go up to make this jump. It's not just this is not about just a single jump. It's about creating like a curriculum around STEM, so that not only kids that have TVs and electricity can see, but also underprivileged kids can be part of it, and they can be inspired as well. So it's a very big project. If you go to risingunited.org, you'll see like there's a whole team of people of STEM PhD people that are going to put something together, and it's going to align the STEM curriculum is going to, from what I've been told, is going to align with the project, right? So as we're doing each part of the project, they're going to create something for young people to be inspired and to be part of it, and to understand what's going on. So that's
nice.
All exciting, because it's not just about just a jump, right? It's not just about the jump. It's like way bigger than that. So
sounds like NASA and SpaceX need to get hit up for a little cash.
Yeah. I agree.
So now, outside of this project and all the wonderful implications that it has, what else is going on skydiving with each of you guys? I mean, Eliana, obviously you're going crazy, jumping 3 teams coming up. I mean, Swati, how about you? Is it just fun jumping and now waiting as this comes along, or are there things in skydiving, your goals that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, so for the past several years, I was involved with the Project 19 project that Eliana had talked about with Amy Chmielewski and Sarah Curtis. That was a big effort to build the next vertical formation So head down, all women, their target was 100 way for this. And they realized that there needed to be some significant efforts put into the sport, not only to get 100 women who could fly head down and have the skill set to be part of this record, but to encourage them to actually all come and show up and do this. So that was a big part of skydiving for me for the past 4 years. And after Project 19 kind of wrapped up, this year turned into more about the fun jumping scene and learning. And so, fun jumping, going to boogies. I started organizing at boogies. So I was one of the organizers at Summerfest this year, which was a lot of fun for me to be on that other side, to teach instead of just be in receive mode. And I absolutely loved that and hope to continue doing more of that. But also learning some other disciplines. So I've been free flying and skydiving basically ever since I got started. And I, this year, decided, you know what, I want to learn to do some dynamic flying. So I put a lot of hours in the tunnel to start chipping away at those skills. And, right now it feels like a never ending process. So I'm sure that I'll keep going down that path. But the dynamic flying, starting to learn how to angle fly and really build out the skill set in my skydiving path.
Now, this is also while you're working what I would assume is a pretty demanding engineering job.
Yeah, so on top of skydiving, I got a new job this year and moved across the country. So across the country and setting up a new life. So this has been a good kind of transition year for me. So trying some new things in skydiving, new job, new house,
Nice.
new life, and then skydiving from space.
Skydiving from space. All right, software engineering and skydiving, is it an easy mix or are you working your ass off too? And how's the jumping going?
Well, it's a very nice mix because software engineer helped me a lot. I can just work and travel. So I'm working on it. I don't have that much jumps than Eliana and Swati. So I will be learning from these excellent teachers that I have here, part of the team. So, but yeah, the software engineer allows me to be in this sport. They gave me the money to do it and the time because I can combine, I can mix both. I can travel and work at the same time. I just need Wi-Fi and I can work wherever I want. So I'm gonna get some good tips and a lot of skills from these both teachers that I have. So I cannot be more lucky.
No. I mean, there's not too many people that have someone like Eliana to be able to lean on, and also not too many people on the planet that have as many jumps as her. So, I mean, how many jumps are you up to now, Eliana?
I have around 16,000 jumps. Yeah, so that's a lot of years of nothing but jumping.
That's a lot of up and down, Well, and that young man you hang out with a bit, Craig, he's got a few too, doesn't he?
Yeah, about maybe over 30,000, 32 or 33, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's jumping since he was 15, constantly.
Oh, now what does he think of this? Is he a little jealous that you're getting a shot at this and he's not?
No, he's super supportive. And he's like, if you want to do it, I'll support you, but just make sure you want to do it, right?
Sure. Is there nerves in regard to something like this? Because this is next level shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and what Swati said, it definitely helped meeting the people from Paragon and learning about them and the fact that they've already, they have all the intellectual data, I guess they call it, and all the stuff, and they've learned a lot from them. But it's still, yeah, I mean, it's it's skydiving, how it is. Anytime you do something new, new gear, new place, new things, it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. But this is going to definitely, I'm going to have to do a lot of visualization. So
I mean, it would almost I would think it would take me all the way back to just deciding to learn how to skydive, that level of nervousness, because it's such a huge leap above, and whoever does this first jump is going to be the fourth person in the world ever to do this. This is, forget male or female, fourth is still really high up there. I mean, that's something else.
Yes, I mean, and the highest I've jumped was for the Thailand world record, which is 25,000 feet. But this is a completely different story with the system and the oxygen and the out of, with a balloon pulling you up.
Right?
I have been thinking about that, like just that view that you're gonna get as you leave the earth, and then just like once you're up higher, being able to see it. I actually had a conversation with Alan Eustace, and I was like, "How was that? When you were up, what were you thinking about?" And he was like, "I was going over all my emergency procedures or everything that I needed to do." So he had lots of time to visualize. But he said it was really relaxing, like it was just really pretty to watch. And he said that it was turning very slowly, so he was getting a 360-degree view of everything. But he kept his heart rate really low, so we have a challenge on our hands to also keep our heart rate low, just because you're also you have a certain amount of oxygen in there, and if you there's a
Not
right?
on limit.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to be very good at just keeping yourself very relaxed and very in the moment. But that's a huge benefit to already being skydivers is, I mean, we've all had to learn to deal with a certain level of anxiety and fear just to get through the day. So especially with the kind of planning that would go into it. Now, what's the proposed ascent time? I mean, I think Alan's was what, 25 or 30 minutes to altitude?
No.
Or was it
That's a
longer?
climb. Yeah, it's a climb. I think, Swati, do you know? I think it was 2 hours
Oh,
and
was it?
Yeah, I
Holy
want to
shit.
say on the order of 2 to 4
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what's the altitude that's been discussed? What are you shooting for?
139.5 in feet. I have it here somewhere.
Yeah.
139,500 feet, and then in meters, it's like 42,519 meters.
That's just crazy.
Amazing.
I think I'd have the irrational fear that I'd cut away the balloon and just get stuck there.
You know
Shit,
what?
we went too high.
I was thinking that, like, when we went to Paragon, I was like, what if you can't cut away or something, right? You get these thoughts, of course, these, and Ronald Chang Diaz, who was actually one of the guys who started this idea, he was saying, there's still gravity up there, there's still, even though there's like, it's less, right? But it's still, at some point, it's gonna, start going down. But do you know that the balloon, as it goes up, the balloon Alan was using, it got to the size of a football field. Yeah, because it's helium balloon, and as it goes up, it starts to grow. So yeah.
Well, and any jumpers that have done a jump with a raft or something like that know that you have to slowly let that air out because it's going to continue to expand on the way up, and then you're going to land with a floppy raft. But yeah, so I can only imagine the amount of gas that it would take to get you that high. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, because it's almost like that's the stratosphere, and I think the stratosphere goes to like 150,000, and then it goes into another level, another layer, the mesosphere.
Oof. Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch. So as we get towards the end, I want information on how people can not only talk to you guys in person about this stuff and get more information from you, but for any logo organizing, team stuff, jumping, in the same order, how do people find you on social media? How do they find out about the project?
Yeah, so to find out about the project, go to risingunitedorg. You'll find information about kind of what the whole project is, more information about us as individuals coming to the project, and the entire team that's involved, like the spacesuit team, the platform team, all of the STEM education, and basically everything that's involved with this whole project. So you can find out about it there at risingunitedorg. You can also donate to this project. As Eliana said, we're still in the fundraising phase, so any amount helps to help us accomplish this mission and get us off the ground. For me personally, I'm most active on Instagram. My handle is more altitude, so that's more _ altitude. So you can find me there and get in touch with me. I'm always happy to talk more about this project, about science, about skydiving, about all the things that go into being just like a person who likes doing cool stuff in the world. and really look forward to connecting with the broader audience about everything that's going on here and what we're hoping to accomplish.
Very cool. Very cool. Next up.
Well, for me, I think that Swati explains and give you the information of the project. So my personal Instagram is Diana Valerin, super easy. I will be very open to answer questions about the project or about engineer.
Very, very cool. Now, Eliana, how do they follow all the crazy amount of jumping you're going to be doing, as well as everything else that you've got going on?
So if they're at Skydive Arizona, you might see me at Skydive Arizona running around on back-to-back jumps, with my teams in the heat. But so that's my base, Skydive Arizona. But I'm on Facebook, Eliana Rodriguez, and I am on. Actually, I started the Instagram when I got on Highlight, and I've been terrible about posting on it. So I got to get better at that. I haven't quite gotten into that, so that's coming. But or you can reach me at Eliana Rodriguez Coaching at gmail.com. So
fantastic. Guys, I cannot tell you how cool it's been. I could sit and ask questions for days about this. I remember seeing both of the projects that have already been done, and of course, knowing about Kittinger from, the guy was a rock star, especially considering he did it in '69, and just everything that's going on, and the project itself and the drive behind it is absolutely incredible. I could keep going for days and days, but we're not going to do that. I just want to thank you so much all for taking the time. I can't wait to see how it goes, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, Dean. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dean,
Thank you very
so
much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.